Hey everyone, welcome back. In this video, I'm going to explain the Terraform state file. I have seen this take down production systems because if you lose or corrupt this file, you lose your ability to manage your cloud infrastructure, leaving you with orphaned resources that Terraform can no longer see or control. Let us dive into the mechanics of how Terraform actually maps your code to your cloud. These are the topics we will cover in this video. Specifically, we will look at how state maps resources, the risks of local storage, how to move to remote backends, and how to fix state drift. So do not skip ahead, watch all the way through to actually understand this properly. Quick note, before we dive in, this channel shares practical IT tutorials daily. So if that is useful to you, hit subscribe and join our WhatsApp community linked in the description for more resources. So what happens if you try to manage infrastructure without a state file? It is a disaster. Terraform is declarative, meaning you describe the desired end state. But to know what changes are needed, it must know the current state. Without this record, every run is a blind attempt to create everything from scratch. You end up with duplicate databases, overlapping network ranges, and a production environment that is impossible to clean up. So what is the state file really? It is the source of truth for your infrastructure. Think of it like a property deed. If you buy a house, the deed proves that a specific structure belongs to you. In the cloud, names change and metadata is messy. Terraform uses the state file to bridge the gap between your human-readable code and the machine-readable cloud provider IDs. Without this deed, you have no proof of ownership. Before we start, let us make sure your environment is ready. You need a workstation running a modern OS like Ubuntu, macOS, or Windows. Make sure you have Terraform installed. You can verify this by running the version command in your terminal. You also need an active AWS account with your credentials already set up. If you are on Windows, open your command prompt or PowerShell. If you are on Linux or macOS, any standard terminal emulator works. Take a moment to review each point shown on screen. Here is how it works internally. You write your infrastructure as code. Terraform reads your code, compares it to the state file, and then performs API calls to your cloud provider. The state file acts as the middleman. It stores the mapping between your local resource names and the actual cloud resource IDs. This allows Terraform to calculate exactly what needs to be created, updated, or deleted. Let us see this in action. Here we define a simple S3 bucket. When you run the apply command, Terraform does two things. It creates the bucket in AWS, and it writes a file called terraform.tfstate. This file is the JSON map I mentioned earlier. If you open it, you will see the exact relationship between our resource block and the bucket name in AWS. This is what the generated state looks like. Notice the attributes block. It contains the actual bucket name assigned in AWS. If you were to manually change the name in the console, Terraform would detect the mismatch during your next plan because the state file remembers the name it created. That is the power of the state file. Now, for production, you never store this file locally. If your laptop crashes, your state is gone. Instead, we use a backend like Amazon S3. On top of that, we add a DynamoDB table for locking. This is crucial. If two engineers try to run and apply at the same time, the lock table prevents them from corrupting the state file. This is the industry standard for safe, collaborative infrastructure management. When you run the init command with this configuration, Terraform will migrate your local state to S3. You will see this success message confirming that all future operations will now use the remote state file. From this point forward, your team can work on the same infrastructure without stepping on each other's toes. But what happens if you get it wrong? This is the most common error you will see. It happens when Terraform cannot acquire the lock from DynamoDB. This usually means someone else is currently running an apply, or a previous run crashed and left a stale lock behind. Do not force delete the lock unless you are absolutely sure no one else is using it, or you might end up with a corrupted state. To fix a stale lock, use the force unlock command with the ID shown in the error message. This tells Terraform to release the hold on the state file. Again, be extremely careful. If you unlock while an apply is actually running, you will corrupt your infrastructure mapping beyond repair. Always check with your team before running this. Think about this. A logistics company was managing their entire fleet infrastructure using local state files on individual developer laptops. One day, a senior engineer accidentally wiped their drive, and with it, the state file for their core database cluster. They spent 3 days manually importing resources back into Terraform. That is why professional teams move state to a centralized, locked backend immediately. So when should you use these patterns? Use remote backends for any environment that matters. If your infrastructure is shared, use remote locking. Keep local state for learning or quick throwaway experiments. Never, ever check your state file into Git. It often contains sensitive data like database passwords or secret keys. And finally, treat the state JSON as read only. Editing it manually is a recipe for disaster. Use these criteria to decide if this tool is right for your situation. You now know the state file is your source of truth. Remember to always use remote backends with locking for your production workloads. Keep in mind that state files might contain sensitive data, so store them in encrypted buckets. Use the built-in state commands if you need to troubleshoot, and avoid manual JSON editing. This keeps your infrastructure clean and manageable. These are the core concepts to carry forward from this video. If you found this video helpful and you think it can help others in the community too, please do like and hype the video. It helps more people find this content. Hit subscribe to stay updated for our regular videos. Join our WhatsApp community using the link in the description, where we share more practical IT resources daily. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one.